This photo was taken in Illinois at the Adoration Chapel at Our Lady of Perpetual Help. You can see the monstrance emanating bright light, as well as what seems to be the bright silhouette of a person, seemingly praying before the Eucharist. Whether this photo is authentic or not, there is no doubt that Jesus is truly present in the Holy Eucharist. Unfortunately, 70% of Catholics don't believe in his true presence in the Holy Eucharist. The Eucharist is not a symbol, but the true body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ. Eucharistic miracles are signs and reassurances for those who need them. The Catholic Church has recognized over 100 of these miracles, which have been analyzed by scientists and given no explanation. Of course, many still doubt the authenticity. There are even some who assume that everyone involved in such investigations are Catholic. But the following event proves the authenticity of such cases. In 1996, at the parish of St. Mary in Argentina, a consecrated host was found in the back of the church in a candle holder during Mass. The priest that was present retrieved the host and placed it into a vessel of holy water to dissolve. Several days later, it was discovered that the host had several stains of blood. The blood stains grew larger over time. It was decided not to publicize the event, but to keep the host in the holy water, which even after 3 years remained in the same state. In 1999, a scientific investigation was begun under the leadership of Dr. Ricardo, a clinical psychologist who specialized in brain chemistry. 8 scientists were involved in this investigation. On October 21st, in 1999, he brought a sample to a forensic laboratory to do analysis. On January 28th, the following year, the scientists found human DNA in the sample. One of the scientists stated that the white blood cells were living at the time they were collected. This was shocking, as they normally die within 2 hours after being taken from a body. In 2001, Dr. Ricardo then sent samples to another scientist who said the sample was heart tissue and had white blood cells. The following year, another scientist said that the sample was muscle cells with intact white blood cells. On March 2nd, in 2004, samples were brought to Dr. Frederick, who was not told what the sample was. He found that the sample was inflamed heart muscle near the left ventricle and had white blood cells. This meant that the heart was alive and pumping when the sample was taken. The heart also showed signs of being under stress. When Dr. Frederick was told that the sample came from a consecrated host, he was absolutely speechless. Dr. Ricardo, who was an atheist when he began the investigation, converted to Catholicism by the end of this investigation. Seeing the Eucharist as symbolic robs believers of the sacramental reality that Christ gave. The early church understood that the Eucharist held the true presence of Christ. Saint Ignatius of Antioch, who was a disciple of John the Apostle, stated that the Eucharist was the flesh of Jesus who suffered for our sins. He also stated that those who spoke against it incurred death in the midst of their disputes. He was an early Christian writer whose letters serve as an example of early Christian theology.